You are entering ENC's Pod of Awesomeness.
So here we go, folks. Jay's landline is once again ringing because, of course, he still has a landline. Why wouldn't he? So I am here by myself, again, as the true consummate professional that I am. Oh, right, wait, there he is.
I got to get this landline disconnected.
You think?
Yeah.
Man,
it doesn't ring all day. It doesn't ring all day, and it's like it knows when we're setting up to do this.
Here's my question. Who calls you on a landline?
I don't even know. It's, you know what, it's mostly like spam calls and stuff. I guess that's what I need a landline for.
For your spam calls?
Yeah.
Nobody has a landline anymore, Birdman. Nobody.
I do.
Yeah, why don't you just use carrier pigeon? You're the Birdman. You have control of all the birds in the world.
It's my
Why
way
don't
of
you have
not letting go of
fleet?
the past. Not only do I have a landline, I have a dial phone.
Why don't you have a murder of crows at your disposal to be able to just send messages across the world?
A what of crows?
It's called a murder of crows. Come on.
Oh, I didn't even know.
I am so much more cultured than you.
I like the Black Crows, though.
A good band.
Yeah.
Very, very good band. All right, Bird, we got a lot to talk about, so I don't want to spend it flapping our damn gums about what you did this week and what you did this week, and you got a landline. We got a lot to cover. We got the Royal Rumble. We got NXT Takeover. We got the fallout from the Royal Rumble, but I'll be perfectly honest, I didn't get to see Raw because I had to be asleep and get up and stuff. Whew, it's a big week, Bird.
Are you done?
I am done.
You get all your stuff in there?
I'm yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I guess we should maybe, do you want to start at the NXT Takeover then? Because thought it was overall pretty damn solid show. What'd you think?
I really enjoyed it. I really did. You know, I feel like I got to start with the main event with Almas and Gargano, and we will talk about this match more because our guest this week, my get, is one young
this year. Congratulations, your first get.
One young Johnny Gargano, Johnny Wrestling, Johnny Mafa, Johnny kick him in the ding ding, man. This guy. Well, we'll get into it, but what a match!
It was a great match, and you know, here's the thing too. For me, I haven't seen. I've seen him wrestle before. Obviously, seen him in tag matches, and that haven't seen a ton of them. But this is the first like real long singles match that I've ever seen him have. And
shame on you.
Well, it's the way it is. But you know, I was super impressed with Johnny. I thought he was he played that underdog role perfectly and could very well be the new Daniel Bryan in a sense, you know. And
yeah, and I hate attaching that kind of thing because he's his own thing.
Yeah.
But I get what you're saying, just from a size standpoint, sure. But he really is his own wrestler entirely, and we'll get into it. But just such a well put together, finely crafted, you know, piece of art. Honestly,
it was great.
There were so many elements to it. Almas is very good.
He is really good
worker, man.
And
I mean,
here's the thing too, right? And it's to work maybe even his first like real highlighted, spotlighted main event match. It's a hard thing to do. Like, you have to realize that it takes another gear to do a proper main event match that invests people for the amount of time you're going to put in.
Yeah.
And kudos to both those guys because they did it. They told the story, and you know, it was really, like I said, it was a work of art. And you know, me being Nancy nitpicker, the only thing that I would have done, and I've said this before, and I'm not saying there was anything wrong with the match. This is my opinion and my opinion only. That I think, especially on NXT, and I said it before, if anybody wanted to really stand out on NXT, they'd be a true heel and not do any babyface kind of flashy stuff. Just be a true heel, and you would stand out on that show because nobody else does it. So that being said, I think that Almas has all the makings to do that. He's got the look, he's got the swagger, he has the valet, and you know, when he's out there doing things where he did this really amazing move where he moonsaulted and landed on his feet, and Johnny went to roll away, and then he moonsaulted from his feet and landed on him and got a close call. That is an amazing display of athleticism and talent. But to me, it's like you never want to outshine the babyface. So even if you did that and then, I don't know, Johnny put the knees up or whatever it is, you always put the babyface back on top after, to me. And that was like a minor thing. It didn't, that's just my opinion. In my opinion solely. You always make the babyface shine in the end. I think he ultimately did that. That one thing didn't take away from anything else they did in the match. I like when he goes up and he goes off the ropes and does the double stomps and all that stuff. It looks vicious. Like I said, he has that kind of shit-eating grin. He's got the look. He's an amazing talent. He's going to go really far.
Yeah, and it is tough when you're that talented too, and a lot of it will depend on the writing, because with today's audience, if you go out there and just do all heel stuff, as much as I hate to admit it, you may get yawned out of the building.
Well, I'm not saying not do the big things, but to me,
have it countered in the end. I get it.
I'm just back on top.
I'm just throwing out the other side.
I know. I'm just saying. I didn't even say they're wrong. I just said my opinion. But maybe it's because I was not athletic enough to do that stuff. So maybe fuck me.
Well, if you were athletic enough, guaranteed you would have done it. He's really good. Yeah. It was a great match. If I'm nitpicking and I have no idea where the storyline is going, if it doesn't end with Gargano getting the title at some point, that was the place to put it on.
Yeah. Yeah. And
if it doesn't, and I know, let's face it, we're writing all of these shows. Secretly, they're all listening, and they're all going, well, they got a good point there. Well, maybe we should do that, because it just seems to happen.
Just saying.
That's all I'm saying. Yeah. So I'm saying, Bert, I think there's something going on here. So anyway, I think that was the place to do it, because that crowd wanted it so bad. And I get that you don't always give them what they want, but sometimes you do. And that felt like one of them. I'm not that again, flip side of this. I'm completely flipping on what I just said. Almas hasn't had a long reign. It hasn't been the kind of reign that he probably deserves either, where he's kind of been playing second fiddle to this underdog challenger. So I get wanting to keep it on him. I think if you're looking at the totality of the next card, the takeover in WrestleMania, now you have whoever Almas works, if it's Aleister Black, and then you have Ciampa and Gargano. Now you have two main event matches as opposed to just having one. So I get it.
And kudos to both guys too, because we've talked about it a lot on this podcast too, where selling is becoming a lost art, and that we understand that everything evolves and gets bigger and all that stuff. But to me, the foundation is selling, and that should never be compromised for anything.
Let's talk about that later when we got Johnny, because we're going to,
I'd rather we should hear it. I just want to say that kudos to both guys, because they really sold, and, you really felt for him during that match, the way that he was selling. And, well done both guys on that as well.
What other matches you want to talk about? Aleister Black's a really cool character.
Yeah. I like, he's kind of mysterious. It's a cool vibe. Yeah, and kind of cool, and like he's kind of unflappable in a sense. You know what I mean? Yeah, yeah. So, and he makes sure that when he is flapped, it means something. Yep. It has a Taker vibe. It has a Brood vibe. It has a very. It's cool. It's cool. Kind of I really dig the whole entrance and all of it, and his work and his striking and all that too. Yeah, and in that match as well, same thing. Both guys sold what they were doing. So, and that goes a long way, especially when you're using, weapons and things of that nature.
Plunder, if you will. Ooh. In Philadelphia, by the way.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, that could be a dangerous prospect right there to try and impress that crowd. Yeah. Hey, let's just talk about that Philly crowd and how hot they were and how much they came to have fun.
Yeah, they did. The whole weekend.
Great audience.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a great audience will make a good match great. Mm-hmm. But they'll take a great match like Almas and Gargano and make it like one for the ages. Yep. Spectacular. Yeah.
And we both have been in those situations before where, you think something's going to be pretty good going into it, and then the crowd just makes it that much better. And
or the flip side of that, where I felt like, man, that was a pretty good match, but that crowd was just not with it. Yeah. And I guess it wasn't a good match then. But you could do the same thing, let's say in a Chicago or a Philly, and they would have been there. So you go, man, missed opportunity. I wish we had done this in this pay-per-view in Seattle or something, because they were always hot too. Yeah.
You know what's an underrated wrestling town? Denver.
Oh, look at you with the Midwest love. I
don't know. I remember the first time we wrestled in Denver, I came out and the crowd was like crazy. And every time I went there after, there was hot, and I was like, man, this is a really good wrestling town. Like, I didn't realize it, but they're underrated wrestling town. Denver is. I'm just going to say.
You sounded like Christopher Walken there.
I'm going to say.
Like, crazy. That was a bad Christopher Walken. Man, that was not as good as my Dusty.
Yeah.
My Dusty's way stronger.
Or the Crusty Roads. This is Crusty Roads.
Crusty Roads, yeah. So that was Takeover was great. I really, 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 but we'll talk about it more with Johnny, because we got Johnny Wrestling coming up on the show. So we'll talk about it more with him. I don't want to go too in depth on it now, because we'll go in depth there.
What else? Yeah. Anything else you want to talk about there on their Takeover show?
I mean, those were the two that really slammed me in the face. I know there was more, and Shayna Baszler and Ember Moon.
Good match.
It was, and I really dig what they did. Here's where I nitpick. If Shayna Baszler with that elbow stomp, that shouldn't be done unless it's the finish, because it looks so gnarly. It looks so killer. The week before, 2 weeks before, she took out Dakota Kai with it on the NXT show. Man, you set that thing up, and it is now a finish for life, and it is a possible career ender type thing.
It's like the punt, like Randy Orton's punt.
Yes, and you don't throw that away. And because they established it like just a week or two before, and the match couldn't continue, and then you do it in the start of the match. I understand the story they were trying to tell and where they got to. Baszler has enough in her arsenal to be able to do something else. To still get that message across without throwing that thing away, because that thing looks so disgusting, especially when you see it in slow-mo. Don't throw that away. And they protected it so they can still save it.
Yeah.
Because she sold it throughout the match and it still played into, but I'm saying nobody should even continue a match after that thing.
Right.
That's where I think you put that move. That's where it belongs and what it needs to be. That was the only thing. I was like,
oh my God, are you kidding me?
Somebody's still calling you. Oh, man, unplug the thing. Unplug the thing. Who, like,
oh my God.
Is it Geico? Like, who's calling
I don't know.
you, man?
Hold on.
Mega Matt, man. What do we do here?
He should put the phone.
He's got an answering machine. He's got an answering machine on his landline.
It's very 80s of Jay.
Oh my God!
Seriously,
do you hear what I'm dealing with, hosers?
Seriously, nobody has called that phone in 2 days. I get on here 2 calls within 10 minutes.
I bet.
Unreal.
I bet.
God. Yeah. I didn't even unplug it. I just grabbed the thing and ripped it out of the wall.
You just tore it right out. Hey, is it like a rotary phone? You old fuck. Anyway.
I'll just fucking have somebody come and repair it. I don't care.
So that was my take on the Baszler thing. I think it was really well done. And that roll-up finish and fighting out of that hole for so long, and I really had no idea where they were going. So when it went to that pin and it was good and it was deep and everything, it was cool.
Yeah,
very cool.
And this all comes to experience too. If Shayna was really kind of struggling and kicking her feet a little more, really would have told it and kind of, you know what I mean? That's all experience stuff. Where.
Yeah. I mean, if I remember correctly, she was a little bit, but and her reaction after and everything, and her growth, her upside, and where she's at in terms of experience. Yeah, you can tell she's a little green,
sure.
But hey, for the amount of experience she's had, she is gonna be a badass, and it's gonna be fun to watch because she really brings a bully vibe to the match. It feels dangerous when she gets in there.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, you see that elbow stomp. It is dangerous. So it's like, save it. Anyway, that's my only thing from that, Birdman. Shall we get to the Rumble? It was kind of a big deal.
Anyways, congratulations to the
kind of a big
NXT
deal.
crew for a great show. So
Yes. And yeah, solid effort up and down. Up and down the board.
Ooh.
Baby. And you know what? I got to talk about Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly against Authors of Pain real quick because there's an instance where two guys in Fish and O'Reilly are wrestling like smart heels, but they're picking a body part and they're tearing it apart. And by going back to that with like blind tags and things like that, very, very brain busters, very, that kind of vibe to it. And that's cool. It's like they are trying to do it. It's a difficult thing to do nowadays, especially with, opponents that big and everything. But I enjoyed the heck out of that match too. It was good stuff. It's good stuff.
Yeah, it was an entertaining match. Very good. Echo what you said. Yeah, I mean, it all those things are cool things, make them a little bit different. And wouldn't even mind seeing them dirty it up a little bit more too.
Yeah. I mean, but I like that it's not just all fancy stuff. Like they're throwing in some ugly stuff in there, But it can always be uglier. And those knees in the corner that O'Reilly was eating from maybe it was Razor. He was leaning into
and like
too.
The thing is too, like I mean,
those.
Say we're nitpicking stuff, but I mean, you have two guys, like the Authors of Pain that are big guys, and to me, it's like at one point I think in Fish, I mean, it's impressive that he can do it, but I think he did like a belly to belly kind of overhead suplex to one of them, and I don't know. To me, it just takes away from what the other guys, the size and what they're supposed to bring to the table. When you're kind of doing it with that kind of ease, and like I said, it's impressive that you're doing it, but it almost takes away from the danger of what these other guys are to you, if that makes any sense.
Well, and I'll bring up a point, and I'm going to sound completely biased because it involves my wife when we get to the Rumble. That will illustrate a point that you're trying to make here. So shall we get to the Rumble?
Yeah, let's do it.
Where would you like it? Let's start with the Men's Royal Rumble, shall we?
You sure? You want to start with the AJ Styles?
Oh, you want to start there, do you?
Yeah,
you want to start there.
Okay. I was looking forward to both the matches, but I was looking forward to this one too because I thought it was kind of an interesting kind of dynamic they had on the match, and I thought it was good. I thought it was cool that AJ won, obviously, because I think he deserves to be the champion going into WrestleMania, even though we're a little bit a ways from that. Seems like that's the direction.
Yes.
And also,
can I just real quickly say I fucking hate it when one guy beats two guys.
I do too. But I mean, I think if it's two guys in the ring at the same time, yes. But it was.
I think we put Steve Blackman over in a handicap match, two guys on one.
I think we did too. But I mean, they could have done something. I mean, like Owens and Zayn have been pissing a lot of people off. Maybe could have done a little distraction from somebody else or something. But on the flip side of that, if AJ is going to be wrestling Nakamura, that we know now is going to be the case at WrestleMania.
I think AJ should be champ going to WrestleMania. I don't think you book a handicap match with two of your top heels to lose to one babyface on a major pay-per-view.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, it's
I think AJ totally. I can't wait for that match. I called that match. I picked that
point,
match.
But I think what they were trying to do is go for something different because we've already seen
different ain't always good, man. I like macaroni and cheese because it ain't different.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I mean, for the position they were in, they now
the match though was great.
Right. Yeah. The only missed opportunity I saw in that was when I think at some point they could have maybe roughed AJ up a little bit more. But I guess, maybe thrown him out and then one guy distracts and they get a little heat on him on the floor. I think there was a little bit of something there. But also on the flip side of that, like I said, two guys beat the shit out of one guy. You should be able to put him away. Right? So that being said.
I mean, in theory, yeah.
Yeah.
So my takeaway from that is all three guys immensely talented, fun to watch no matter what they're doing. They will get the crowd invested no matter what they're doing. I love the monkey flip into a hurricanrana. I've never seen that before. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
But, it was a really...
Yeah, and the finish, it was kind of like when they did the kind of the tag over the shoulder, and then AJ threw him over the ropes and turned around, and Kevin went for his finish right away, and he rolled him up and kind of got a quick one, right? So it, in a sense, did protect both guys because, they
did what they could.
Yeah.
They did what they could with it. And it was a good match. It was the crowd was totally with it. I love all three guys. Also, huge shout out to Owens wearing an Edge shirt on the Royal Rumble pregame show. So shout out to you. He basically reverse rocket strapped me is what he did. I think it's a big ploy by KO to try and even to get even more rocket strapped by us because he reverse rocket strapped me.
Yeah. Well.
That's what I think he's doing there. He's a smart cookie. He's a smart one, that guy. Yeah. I don't know. I think I smell your game, Kevin.
Oh.
But great match. I just, like I said, I don't like handicap matches. That's all. But really good stuff.
Yeah. I mean, they did what they could. Like I said, I didn't hate it because it was different. I thought they did it well, and I thought, like I said, on the finish, both guys are protected, and I don't think, no matter what, Owens and Zayn are talented enough that it won't hurt them.
Yeah, exactly. They're whatever situation they get in, they're going to pull it off. And I'm really liking Sammy as a heel.
Yeah, I do too.
He's ramped up the intensity in the right spots without changing. Like we talked about him with, he can't just go from this guy to a completely different guy. There still has to be those elements in there, and he's really found that pocket well.
If you know him, he's kind of annoying in real life, too. So, I mean, it's he's just cranking that up a little bit. So,
you're just mad because he's always closed you in the fantasy hockey deal.
Yeah, he'll never beat me. So, yeah.
So, the Usos versus Gable and Benjamin. Usos, man. Yeah, they're on a different level right now. And Gable and Shelton, man, they're really good too.
Yeah,
they just haven't been teaming as long. They got something really cool. And Gable, man, he's gonna be a player.
I'm telling you, when I saw him at the Performance Center a couple years ago, and I was there, and he was just he'd been there for a little while, but I remember watching him, and he's a natural. I mean, he's a guy that goes in, you tell him once, he picks something up, and very much like Kurt was.
I know, and I hate those comparisons. I hate comparing them to somebody,
just saying,
but you can't help it.
I'm not comparing him to Kurt. I'm just comparing him because they're both amateur wrestlers. I'm just saying the fact that they could separate what each one was. Because sometimes when you get somebody from another world that's, well, wait, hold on a second, I have to let this guy beat me up. Like, I mean, they can't make that separation. I'm going to look weak here. I got to do what?
I get
I got to look scared. They can't. That realism, they can't separate that from the entertainment.
Yeah. But I'm actually agreeing with you in the comparison here because there is no one else I can think of. Like, he moves like Kurt. He's crisp. His moonsault even looks the same.
Yeah.
He has his own thing. Don't get me wrong, but you gotta say, oh man, he's a new Kurt Angle. He's the next Kurt Angle. He's gonna be the first Chad Gable. Don't get me wrong, but right now, at this stage of his career, that's the comparison you have to make. But that's a huge compliment. He's that good.
Yeah, and actually, as a heel, he's got some personality too. So when that eventually, if and when that ever happens, I think that's when he'll truly kind of come into his own. I think.
I agree. And they did 2 straight falls with the Usos going over, which is always unexpected, but they really did something that I appreciated for the finish. So they had this really long extended first fall, and I was like, well, that was a really long first fall. Where are they going to go? So they took out one of the Usos on the floor, and they went to set up for a move in the ring, and Shelton went back to make a tag and then grabbed one of the Usos, but as he was doing it, Gable was going up to the top rope to hit their finish. One of the Usos just small packaged Shelton, and it was, or he didn't make a tag, actually, I'm sorry, because Shelton was legal. But one of the Usos small packaged Shelton, and Gable was on the top rope and couldn't get there in time. And it was out of nowhere, small package finish. There was no real build to it or anything, but you could tell the audience was like, whoa, what just happened there? And I like finishes like that sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, like Gable dove off the top rope to try and break it up, but just couldn't get there. And Shelton was shocked. And
yeah. And you know what though? And here's another thing: we basically rocket strapped the small package. No, we didn't. Paul Smackage did, because we've been talking about it so much. And I told you the crowd goes fucking crazy when Paul Smackage winds up, throws that arm over the neck, and people know what's coming. And these guys realize that there's a buzz about the small package right now. And I appreciate the hosers that
they know the history of Paul Smackage.
Yeah. And I appreciate the hosers tweeting about it, saying, hey, these guys are obviously watching Paul Smackage tapes, which is, pretty right on. Speaking of which, your wishes have been granted, hosers.
Oh, you're going for the
Pro
plug.
Wrestling Tees, Paul Smackage t-shirts available now.
From
also
Grapevine,
Rocket Strappers
Texas.
t-shirts in black, because we've been getting a lot of requests for those too. So, yeah.
Well, you want to know why that is?
Why?
Because the hosers sweat. The hosers sweat, and they don't want the pit sweat to show. Or there could be moob sweat. You never know. There could be swack.
If Tommy was wearing one,
total moob sweat.
Yeah.
So. Just right under both. Yeah. So those are available. Yes, the Usos used a Paul Smackage somewhere. Paul Smackage was smiling.
Oh, let me tell you something.
Maybe down Usos. From above. Who knows where Paul Smackage is now?
Oh, you made Paul Smackage proud on that night, brother. I couldn't be there in person, but I was there in spirit. Oh, you studied the tapes. You knew the history of the man from Grapevine, Texas. Oh, you grapevine those legs and you retained your titles. Oh, a tip of the cap from Paul Smackage, brother.
Maybe he's in the Uso Penitentiary.
Maybe one day we can do a haka together, brother, up there on the top of the stage.
Did you say a haka?
Yeah.
Paul Smackage is going to do a haka.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So, Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Or you want to talk the title match with Brock and Kane and Braun and the punch heard around the world?
Let's do it. Yeah, I mean, we're kind of limited on time here, brother, so maybe we just get the Rumble matches.
Okay. Oh, okay. Well, Brock punched Braun in the head.
Yeah.
And knocked him silly by the looks of it.
Oof.
So there was that.
Yeah. So that happened.
And it looks like Brock and I'm guessing Reigns at Mania. Mm-hmm. And another match that I predicted and hoped for at Mania is now going to happen because of the Royal Rumble we're about to talk about. So what do you think of this Royal Rumble, Birdman?
Yeah, I thought it was really well done, actually. And
it was. It was so fun.
Yeah, and I think there was just enough surprises, not too many. I wasn't expecting to see the Hurricane, and he got a nice little pop when he came out, so good for him.
We strapped him. We
strapped him. And Rey Mysterio obviously came back. Looked like he's in the best shape I've seen him in years. So
right,
good for him. And he's so cool too with like how he updates his look, keeps it true to Rey Mysterio, but always kind of whenever he comes back has like a reincarnation of Rey Mysterio in some sense. And I like the new gear, the way that he looked, and good for him.
Let's just talk about that for a second.
Yeah.
Because here's a guy who is under a mask but still finds a way to reinvent himself.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That should kind of be impossible.
Yeah.
But he's still able to do it. And looked like $1 million. Looked like he was moving quicker than he has. Yeah. And I know he's been working still because we've talked about his match with Ospreay and all of these things. But, man, Ray is just one of those guys. A, I loved working him. And two, he's just able to mesh his style to whatever situation he's in. And he makes an audience feel good.
Right.
You just feel good when you hear that booyaka.
Yep.
And you could hear the initial delay, like, wait, is that actually it's right? And then the explosion, and there was one dude in the front row with thumbs down. Screw you, man. You have no fucking clue what you are even doing if you're booing Rey Mysterio. Yeah. This guy has had 8 knee surgeries
guarantee you.
Wait, hold on. 8 fucking knee surgeries. And he comes back and still moves like that. And look at all of the great, amazing things he's been involved in over the years. He started wrestling when he was 14. If you're going to thumbs down because you're the cool, ironic guy in Philly in the front row, go fuck yourself.
And here's the thing, too. I guarantee you this. Every single person, every single superstar, every single wrestler in the back that was watching that monitor was salivating, hoping they were going to be the guy. If I'm not sure what is going on, whether he's coming back or whether he's not, but if he does, or everybody who's watching is hoping that he does come back, because he's one of those guys, those iconic guys that everybody wants. Like, who's your dream opponent? Or Rey Mysterio. You'll hear a lot of guys say that. So
it makes everybody better, and I guarantee you that every one of those guys and those young kids that were in there were waiting for their chance to bump for him.
Oh yeah,
you telling me Adam Cole wasn't like, "Yep, eliminate me."
Yeah, right.
Please, I'm right over here if you want to, eliminate me.
So
good to see him. I went off on a tangent there for a minute there. I got all fired up. I love me some Ray, man. I love me some Ray.
Well, you're lucky Paul Smackage didn't see you in that front row, brother. He would have rolled you up, held you there for the rest of the show, and you would have saw nothing from there on.
You wouldn't have been able to thumbs down anything, man. It was good to see Almas in there and have a good showing after having that spectacular match the night before. There was a lot of good surprises with it, but here's my main takeaway from it. It truly felt like every person who came out was an established character.
Right.
Everybody has a role on the show again. And I don't know when the last time that was. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, I can honestly say everyone that came out has something going. They're not just
even let's
so-and-so.
And even let's not overlook this either, with Heath Slater coming out and getting knocked down.
It was awesome
on his ring entrance, and then everybody taking a shot at him when he came down. If they had just played that even almost to maybe even right before the Final Four, and he came in, finally got in, and maybe it looked like he would even have a chance of winning this thing because people just kind of kept forgetting him on the ground.
Yeah,
that would have been a huge moment too, and really cool. I think they could have dragged that out a little bit longer, and I think it would have been awesome.
That being said, it was a great moment with Sheamus.
Yeah.
And I love where Sheamus is as a character now, that he can get away with that.
Yeah, sure.
And on a side tangent, I was thinking about it. You know who I'd love to see wrestle Lesnar?
Who's that?
Sheamus or Cesaro in a singles match. Mm-hmm. I think those would be killer matches.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but I think they would.
It was
really
funny. One time we were wrestling in the Elimination Chamber a couple of years ago, and Sheamus and Cesaro were both in it, and I can't remember who I was watching it with. Well, I mean, I was in the match, so I was watching it while it was happening.
Pod.
We were watching it back.
You were watching it with yourself and the audience.
We were watching it back the next day, and we were sitting there, and I was like, "Look at this hoss off." They were just forearming the shit out of each other. So it got dubbed the hoss off after
Hoss
that.
off.
Yeah, they were just going whole hoss.
Not
on each
to
other.
be confused with the toss off.
Yeah. So
okay.
What a hoss. So
it needs to be mentioned. The New Day. I love those guys.
Yeah, they're great.
Kofi outdid himself this year.
With the pancakes. But also a way to work
So
in their
creative.
gimmick. Like they did it with their gimmick. They did the whole thing where they launched him back into the ring and the whole thing. It was really you need those moments too, right? Those entertaining moments, and
Have to.
It had a little bit of everything, and that's what you want in a Rumble match. A little bit of everything. And this one,
those moments make it feel like
Yeah.
a classic Rumble, and that's how it felt to me as I was watching
Yeah.
it. I was like, every character in some form or another is over. They're getting a reaction. You have the surprises, and then you have these funny moments, a la, Pancakes and New Day, and then them launching Kofi over top of Jinder. And there was stories within the Rumble, like the New Day Jinder story that happened there within, kind of 3 minutes. But the reaction to him getting eliminated was really, really great stuff. And then, Almas taking advantage of that and going to the opposite side. There's another little story that was told. It was just, it was really well done on everyone's part. Rusev had a good showing.
Great reactions for him too, and
he's good, man.
The crowd booing when he got eliminated. The whole thing with Matt and Bray doing their thing and eliminating each other, worked for what they were doing. So all in all, I mean, it was, it was good stories that were told, I think. And then, with Roman eliminating Seth,
Yep.
all good stuff.
All very good stuff. It came down to a good group of final six. I was happy to see Balor in there. And another tangent. You know who I'd love to see Balor work?
Who?
Ray.
Oh, man, that'd be insane. Yeah,
and just no heel, no babyface. Just let him go.
Yeah.
Just let him go and let the crowd enjoy it.
And here's the thing, too, and we should give kudos to, we just don't want to brush over Balor on this either, because he was in there for a long time.
That's why I'm bringing him up again, man.
And, people don't realize this, too. Yes, it's cool to be in there, but it's a lot of pressure to be in there that long, because not only do you have to know what you're doing, you need to know what everybody else is doing.
You're the thread.
You're the thread. It's a lot of pressure to be in that spot. So, he did a great job, and, he did did what he was supposed to do, and, he came out stronger than he was going in, and that was the goal.
Without a doubt. And you got to think, if it is, to me, it'll be remembered as one of those, okay, that was an awesome Rumble. And that you were the thread through it. You've done a really important job that night. So kudos to him for doing it. I thought it was cool. The little old school, new school. It's so weird for me to say old school when it's John and Randy.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
How old school are we then? Fuck.
But it was great to see that kind of face-off and that kind of thing happen. And what I really liked is when it got down to Shinsuke and Reigns and Cena, the crowd automatically thought Shinsuke was out next, I think.
Yeah,
but
so
you
too.
could tell the right decision was made. He needed it the most. I said it before. Sports Illustrated asked me. I picked it. I said, I'd like to see Nakamura.
Let's be honest. You picked it because when we were picking our Rumble winners before, I told you that this is what I would do. I would have Nakamura win it and then go on and face AJ for the world title. I told you that months ago. So
I don't think you did. I think I mentioned that on the pod months ago, and I said they could be the first ones to main event Wrestle Kingdom and WrestleMania in a title match. I'm pretty sure I said
that's what it would
that.
be. After I said that's what it would be.
Whatever, we both agree. Fine, take credit.
Suck it.
I was on Sports Illustrated, which is a huge thing, so I said it there, and you didn't.
Well, I'm going to call Sports Illustrated once we get off here.
You do it.
Yeah. Do you have their number?
Get on the cover, too.
Do you have their number?
I do. Yeah, I'm sure. Go plug in your landline and give them a call.
Yeah, well. Oh, yes.
Right guy who needed it. That audience wanted it. And that kind of victory will then, filter to the other audiences, the other audiences that might not necessarily be on board with Nakamura yet. That will help the Des Moines go, oh, okay. And more of the casual watcher will go, okay, this guy must be a big deal. And he looked pretty cool and he did some cool stuff. And he just eliminated John Cena and Roman Reigns. Talk about a rocket strap.
Yeah. And
talk about two guys that got a load of heat, but yet,
do the right thing.
Did the right thing.
Yeah. And do it well. He looked like he had his head taken off and was in a daze when he got up and got fucking just thrown out, straight up eliminated.
I've never gotten the Reigns, the anti-Reigns thing, except that I think he was a character that needed to stay silent and just kick ass. And that's what they wanted to see, and that's what they would have cheered. I've talked about that ad nauseum, so I won't talk about it again. But to me, the guy's super talented.
Good for Nakamura. Like I said, we've kind of been waiting for him to, he's shown glimpses of it, like we said, and it's up to him now, man. He's got what he was looking for, maybe, and
man, he's got the table set. I mean, you got AJ Styles, a guy that you can do exactly what you need to do with at WrestleMania with the WWE Championship on the line. That's the place to do it. So I truly hope he does. I've never even met the guy, but I hope he does.
That people really, really want to see.
Yes, and it will be, as we've talked about, a different flavor than if they do go Brock and Reigns.
Right.
Those are two entirely different title matches, and I like
they
that.
Should be. And they should be.
So they should be.
They should be, brother.
They should be. Yep. So that was a good one, man. I really, really enjoyed it. It made me kind of feel like a kid again watching, in that there were so many different characters and so much fun stuff happening.
Yeah.
And that brings us to the match that I am so thankful closed the show. Mm-hmm. It had to close the show.
Again, Rocket strapped it. We discussed that.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So we just now rocket strapped an entire match.
Yeah.
An entire division.
Yeah.
Is what you're saying.
Yeah.
I don't think we had anything to do with that. Anyway, it was, but again, really, really fun. It was a fun,
great.
well done, well-paced, well put together.
We say this too, right? It was well done and it wasn't overdone because it was the first one, much like the Money in the Bank matches that we saw. It was, you're setting the template for what it is and what it's going to be. So blank canvas, anything could happen, and they didn't overdo it, which is important.
Well, yeah, because if you go too far, like honestly, like we did with the TLCs, how do you
top it?
Where do you go? What do you do?
Yeah.
So it was good in that respect. And also, let's be perfectly blunt here. How many of those women have been thrown over the top rope before?
Right.
Probably not many.
Yeah.
So you also have to keep that in mind. Like, this truly is a new match.
And, I think you had
in
more,
those terms.
because you're trying to fill out, 30 superstars, right? So, you probably had more surprises in this match and also more wrestlers that hadn't been in the ring too much in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So there's that as well.
But that was such an amazing part of it, and I'm glad they started with Sasha, and I'm glad she got to really, show what she can do, and also show some heel vibe in there, because I think that's her natural.
Yeah, I think
her
she's
natural
heel
thing
too,
is to be a heel. Yeah. That's just her, I think, and it radiates off her when she starts to be able to show it a little bit. It was the surprises were. I guess they weren't surprises to me. I kind of got some inside track there, but
the first surprise was obviously Lita when she came in at the 5th spot, I believe,
and a huge reaction. Just
and well deserved. Obviously she's a legend. She's a Hall of Famer, and a lot of these the women that you see out there now we're looking up to her, and she was instrumental in them wanting to get into business and ultimately getting into the business. So, cool moment probably for a lot of them to get in there, and same thing as the Ray thing. Oh yeah, I'll take some bumps for Lita. I'll get eliminated by Lita. So it's all, very cool.
Without a doubt. And her and Trish, and I know Trish came in at number 30, but her and Trish were really, don't get me wrong. There was other women there, but those were the two that really kind of took it to a different place at a time when it wasn't at a different place. And showed what a glimmer of what could happen, and they really, they lit it again. They lit it to what it could be. They kind of lit the torch to what it could be. Yeah. And then for a while, that torch was, there was a lot of wind blowing on it. Yeah. I don't know how else to put it, I guess would be the analogy. And, in talking to Beth about this, because they had asked her, about 6 weeks ago, she wanted to be involved, and she said, well, what do you think? I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't. The last thing I did was the Hall of Fame, and it was such a great memory and all of those things, and it went absolutely perfectly. She said, I had a baby 10 months before, so I didn't get where I wanted to physically for it, but I had a baby 10 months ago, So but then I said, man, think about it. You were one of the girls that kept holding that torch through some, and I've talked about it, through some leanly written years, and helped and were instrumental to getting it where it could jump off like this. Once that talent got there to get the shot to be able to do it. And I said, there's only ever one first.
Yeah.
You can be in the first Women's Royal Rumble, and that is one of the things that you always wanted that division to be able to have, to be seen on an equal footing. Like, you got to do it. Not only that, but now she's the first woman to be in the men and women's one.
And the women that cleared the path for what you see now deserve to have that moment as well and share that moment. And it was good for all involved. And much like the men's, everybody in there seemingly had a storyline, had a purpose, and had a spotlight and a shine. And it was great. And I mean, even for someone like Molly Holly coming back, it was great to see her back because she deserved to be there, and she looked super happy to be there, and also looked great in the ring physically, and her, even the stuff that she was doing in there looked great. And
well, how about she comes in and hits a Molly go round?
I know, right?
Like, what the hell? How is that even possible? Like, she looked great. She did. She looked happy. She looked. You could tell it meant something. It meant something to all of them. You could tell, like everyone who came back, all the women who are currently on the roster and plugging away and busting their ass. You could tell it meant so much to them, and that it meant so much to, to Tori, to Michelle, to
Tori did great
Kelly.
There too. She was, she had a good little spotlight in there, and she looked really good. They all,
and everybody looked like $1 million
great.
And busted their tails. You could tell to get ready for this thing. I thought Vicky as an addition was so much fun.
Yeah, and that's what that needed. And that's much like the New Day. Having that kind of, I don't want to say comedy, but a little bit of entertainment and
or something
different. Yeah, just to take it in a different direction before it ramps back up again. It was a good, good spot to do that in, and she was the right person to do it with. And obviously, like doing what only she can do, because no other woman, I don't think, in history could garner the heat that she did. So.
and then Naomi, kind of providing that coaching
she ran
moment.
around the thing and jumped back on the steps, like the whole thing. Yeah, she's just a freak athlete. So talented. Which
then led to Nia clearing the ring out and really showing her thing. I thought the match was really good in highlighting what she is.
And then you got the go into your business for yourself, Kay Faber, Beth Phoenix.
Let's face it.
I sent her a text that said, "Oh, Kay Faber," because that was actually a surprise. I didn't expect to see her there.
I kayfabe you too, though.
Yeah. So, but no,
I'm on team kayfabe, brother.
Congratulated her for a job well done, and that moment that she had with Nia was pretty special. And going off of the character that she portrayed when she was on there, obviously being the first female in a Royal Rumble and eliminating the Great Khali, that was a great moment too. That she could be the one to kind of come in and face off with Nia physically, and it's believable. And something the crowd could kind of grasp onto,
Yeah, well, she was the second woman in a Royal Rumble. China was the first.
Yeah, sorry.
But she is the first to be in the men's and the women's now, which I don't know if anybody will ever end up doing that. But it's, again, there's only one first, so she's the first to do that, which is kind of crazy and kind of awesome. Mm-hmm. And I mean, she was. When she found out about it, she's like, I'd love to do something with Nia. It's just a natural, and you could tell the crowd, and sure, I'm biased. Obviously, she's my wife, but I also know good talent when I know good talent, and those two are both uber talented women, and it was so much fun. I'm sitting here in Ireland at 3:00 in the morning, waiting for my pickup at 4, going, okay, I know she's coming out now. And goosebumps. Yeah, I was like so worried I was going to miss it, and then I had no Wi-Fi because I'm in the middle of nowhere. I'm going to have to watch it when I get home, and
that's something you want to see live, right? I mean,
I wanted to be there so badly. I felt horrible, but I was so excited and goosebumps and just. I was so excited for her because I knew how much it meant to her. I knew the work she put in the gym because she is busting her ass to do this. And so they had that moment, and the crowd immediately came where I thought they would, and they this is awesome stuff and everything. And it was just a really cool, fun moment that I would have thought, even if I wasn't married to her, that it was just, I was like, okay, that was badass. And here's the instance when we're talking about Bobby Fish picking up one of the authors of Pain. Beth can pick up Nia, but she made it look like she couldn't at first. To make it mean more, to, put that struggle in, and even in 2 minutes, you can do it. You just have to, okay, there's a tease. Okay, there's a tease. Okay, now we got her. And make it look like the battle that it should be to be able to lift an opponent who's that much bigger. So there's my callback to the Fish O'Reilly thing. Just because you can doesn't mean you should, or if you're going to really get some mileage out of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah. And then Natty, being the wombat that she is.
She double-crossed her, brother.
Double-crossed her, you know. Beth was just loving that
Played
moment.
into Natty's current heel persona and double-crossed her best friend. So that was a good moment and good for Natty. She did well too, so it was awesome to see her because she's been working long and hard for this stuff too,
Yeah,
and so
she has, and that doesn't get mentioned enough, actually.
And she's
she's been there,
and
almost,
and she's really turned it up in the last year as well, even to a different level, and now the heel character has kind of given her even a new release, so it was cool, a good moment for her, a good little double cross. And, obviously also for, I don't think anyone was expecting to see Brie Bella come back, so that was a cool moment. Getting down to that final four. And I think, I'm not sure what we picked before, but I think I picked Asuka to win. I think that was my pick.
I think we both did.
But I was actually convinced at one point Sasha Banks was going to win. But, obviously that didn't happen.
It has to be Asuka. It makes the most sense if you're looking at, again, the totality of a WrestleMania card. I think it has to be at this point. And as evidenced by the end, Ronda Rousey coming out. And so now you have 4 women for the 2 title matches, however, which way they go at WrestleMania.
I also heard some rumblings too about after, and it was a great moment when Asuka won, and kind of also furthers along. You don't have to worry now. There's no debate either of she lost in the Rumble, so technically she's not really undefeated, even though it's not really like a wrestling a one-on-one match or something. Not even that, but like a wrestling. Regular rules wrestling match type thing. So, but it could be overlooked. They could work around that, but still gives that illusion she hasn't been beaten at any point. And, I think that the surprise with the Ronda Rousey, I heard some people say after, she kind of stole the moment from Asuka, but it's kind of what you wanted it to do, right? You kind of wanted it to ruffle some feathers and to be a surprise, because after it's over, you think it's over. So, and, we had talked about it previously before. If she is coming back, you want that lasting image to be, this huge star who's Ronda Rousey pointing at the WrestleMania sign, and that's the last image you see when you're officially on the road now to WrestleMania.
And I get it, that you're trying to build the Mania, so I get that. Yeah. I also do see that other point of...
I do too. But
it's a standalone thing, and it needed to be that because it was the first one. Let it just be that. So... But again, if I'm looking at Mania, I'm already booking Mania, so I completely get why that was done. What I will say from seeing Charlotte and Ronda Rousey standing side by side, Charlotte looks like she would destroy Ronda Rousey. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I know Rousey's a badass. I know all of those things, but you see Charlotte Flair standing there looking like a damn Viking at 6 whatever, and man. Yeah. It was very glaring. I went, oh my goodness.
Yeah. So that's good. It's a good visual.
It is a good thing. It's a great thing because, with Rousey's history, you need someone like that in order to go against her if that's the way they go.
Yeah. Well, there you have it, brother. All in all,
and also Trish. Trish was in there for a while, and man, she moved like she hadn't missed a day. You know, and that can be rare. Like, and I'm not going to name names, but you could tell, and I would be far worse, so don't get me wrong. But you could tell the lactic acid was building up in a few limbs, in limbs that haven't been in the ring in a while. Yeah. And it makes total sense. Anybody would be in that situation, except Trish, I guess, because
it's a yoga, brother.
And Nikki didn't look in any way rusty.
And I think it goes to that, also a mother of 2, and obviously, physical
let's talk about this for a second. Trish has had 2 kids. Beth has had 2 kids.
Yeah.
And they go out there looking like that.
Mm-hmm.
You and I both know from having been in labor with our wives, watching what they go through, and any of the fathers that listen to this pod, or any of the women and mothers that listen to this pod, you know what you go through, obviously. Mm-hmm. Man, to be able to get back in there and do that and look that way and move that way, and to the women who've had 1 child, but I'm just saying 2 kids, man, and to be able to, I think they're the only 2, dual mothers in there. I don't know. I could be wrong. I could be really wrong.
There was other mothers in there. There were other mothers in there, brother.
No, I know there's other mothers. I'm just saying other
With 2
mothers,
kids?
brother that have 2 kids.
Oh.
Because each kid is another battle to come back from.
Yeah.
In a physical aspect, So props to Trish and my wife and all the other mothers, brother.
Yep.
Just because, man, I know how hard.
Yeah,
just
like I said, every woman that performed, every superstar that performed that in that Royal Rumble should be proud of themselves. They're all a part of something historic and something that'll be looked back on, because it was, I think, universally at this point regarded as a great match. So it can only go up from here, and that's exciting.
Yeah. It's probably going to age better than Hacksaw Jim Duggan in the first Royal Rumble. Let's just say it, right? I love Hack. Yeah. But Cubs Coliseum didn't get a barn burner that night. Philly did. They got a whole damn NXT Takeover that was a barn burner. We're going to talk about that with our guest coming right up, Johnny Gargano, Johnny Wrestling.
Yeah.
And they got the Royal Rumble, and then they got Raw and SmackDown, too. They got everything. But I'm not even going to get Raw and SmackDown. We don't have time, Bird. It's a big show. It's a big show. We got Johnny Wrestling. We got to talk about Johnny Wrestling.
Johnny Wrestling waiting way too long, brother. How would Dusty give this young fella an introduction for the ages?
I think Dusty would say, Dave Meltzer, he's got his 5-star match rating. Well, from now on, I'm going to rate matches. Johnny Gargano's. How many Garganos was this match? It was 4 Gargano match. It was a 2 Gargano match. That Great Khali one, it was a 1 Gargano match. That's what he would say. Here's Johnny Wrestling. Man.
Yeah, there it is.
Man, I like this guy. He's prompt. He says he's going to call at a certain time. Look at him. He's right there. Well, Johnny right G, Johnny Wrestling, Johnny kick him in the ding ding. Man.
Oh, you got yourself a moniker.
Is that a new T-shirt, I think, that I got to pitch to everybody? I think Johnny kick him in the ding ding.
Yeah. I think it'll sell. I'm just saying.
I have no doubt in my mind it will sell.
Johnny kick him in the ding ding.
I would 100% buy a Johnny kick him in the ding ding shirt.
Yeah. Yeah, we try to help with all aspects here of marketing and things. So
get the Hot Topic people on the line. That seems like a kid, like a shirt that people would walk into Hot Topic and be like, you know what? Yeah, like Asking Alexandria and like those types of band shirts. And know what? Yeah. Johnny kick him in the ding ding. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the cart too with Rick and Morty and whatever the heck else they got.
Exactly. And I'm going to tell you, since I just came up with it, I would hope I would get a free one.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Yes. What size you need? They run big, I'm sure.
Double medium for me.
Double.
Jay needs a medium.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm bordering between X and double X. So
double X.
I'm eating that way. Yeah.
Wow. I'm a small, so I am very, very much open about how I take my shirts. Small,
however,
like them tight.
You are one ripped, lean lafa.
Yeah. Putting that work in the gym, brother.
It's that performance center, man. Come on.
That's a real deal there, right?
Drew McIntyre. Talk to him about that.
I know.
Dude, everybody there, is in such great shape. And I think the main roster is a bit of a wake-up call, like, oh, there's nothing to eat at midnight except for Waffle House. I got to figure this out. But everyone down there is in such great shape.
But like, I think the thing is that people would hate me for is like I eat like Fruity Pebbles and like ice cream and stuff like that.
Oh, you're that guy.
I really do, and like I'm not rubbing that in or anything because I was a fat kid growing up, but I am more of a fat kid now than I was when I was a fat kid.
Huh. So you grew into it.
Like my Instagram is all just looking at cute babies, cute dogs and food that I can't eat. But
Oh, man.
I eat a cornucopia of various foods. Fruity Pebbles is one of them. But I hired a nutritionist, and he kind of just tells me what to do. So that's what I did.
And Fruity Pebbles is on the menu.
Fruity Pebbles is on the menu, 24/7.
My goodness, I got to get this nutrition.
And before we go any further, I already liked you. I don't think we've ever met. Maybe we have. Please correct me if I'm wrong.
Oh, we have
Damn
met
it.
before.
It just kind
When
of a
was
big
it?
leaguer, so I'm sure he was a dick to you.
We met.
Probably.
We met at a show in, I think, around it's like Upper New York, independent promotion called 2CW. You came with Tommy Dreamer.
Oh my gosh,
Remember?
that's right.
Yep.
Holy crap.
Oh, man.
Oh man.
Yep. Wow.
Wow. Just blew my mind. And this is happening for all the hosers. You're hearing the real thing right here.
Man.
And I was going to say you're already a man after my own heart because you're a wordsmith. You used cornucopia on this
I did.
podcast.
That's really the only big word I know, though. So I kind of I blew it really early. I started out way too hot, so it's all going to go downhill.
Your
from
high
there.
spot.
Yeah, you're a
Oh.
word. You're a word spot monkey.
The worst spots where I was going next.
So
Tell that kid to slow down with his cornucopias.
yeah.
We throw plethora in there.
Oh, I don't
Yeah.
use plethora that much. Cornucopia is
No.
just kind of that's where it levels out for me.
Well,
That's where it's at, is what you're
Yeah.
saying.
You're the kind of man of the hour right now, huh? Like, I mean, that's got to feel good. I guess you saw what was coming. You knew that NXT Takeover Philadelphia was just around the corner, and then you hit us up on the Twitter, looking for the rocket strap.
And I got it.
You got the rocket strap. And
You see what happens.
Yeah, and you know
Getting
what?
strapped, kid.
And look at that, man. Go out there, blow the roof off, and you're on your way. You're welcome.
It's all thanks to you guys.
Yeah. Right?
If I have
because of us.
trust me, I have accepted. If I never sent that tweet,
Yeah.
Takeover Philadelphia, that match never would have happened.
Man.
Would have stunk
I
up
will
the joint.
say,
Yeah.
being the opportunists and the complete manipulators that we are, we saw, this guy who's never having a bad match. It's like, whoa, hold on. We should probably say we'll strap him and ask him if he wants to be on the show. So here we are,
Yeah.
all because of the beauty of Twitter.
Yeah.
How about
We
it?
should
I
say
mean,
this.
I should thank you guys for keeping me alive when I'm driving 2 hours home after late night shows and not crashing the car because I'm driving by myself and just listening to your beautiful melodic voices soothe me on my drive back to Orlando.
Yeah. Pretend like we know what we're talking about when we talk about wrestling. So, thanks.
Hey, but I will say, and this is going to be a bit of a blow smoke up your took us session.
Please.
Here. But
Please, I enjoy that.
please do, man. You and I sent you this text, but you're on fire, man. Like I joked around, and we've now made the match meter. It's no longer like the Stars Meltzer thing on this show, which will now be the
How many Garganos is a match?
Yeah. Was that a 1 Gargano match? Was that a 4
Okay.
Gargano match? Ooh, you and Almas, that's a 5 Gargano match. You're
I
now
like
the
that rating
measuring. You're
I
the
like that.
measuring system for what we're going to deem a good match. You heard it here first on this show, and from now on, everybody's going to take that and use it. They're going to go for Stars, whatever. How many Garganos was
How
it?
many Garganos is that bad boy? So,
You're just giving me a bunch of merchandising gold mine already. It's already in this 5-minute conversation.
yeah.
kind of what
Were
we
you
do.
advised by our producer, Mega Matt, to bring a pen and paper for this, to jot notes for marketing purposes? It's also...
Yeah, I wasn't. It's tons of gold. I mean, especially because, like, for me, hearing you guys say that, it's awesome because you guys were actually a part of one of my favorite childhood matches that I was there live for at No Mercy for the ladder match with the Hardy Boys at the Gund Arena. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio. I was in the
That's
crowd
right,
during that
Cleveland.
match.
Man, I'm
You
almost
were.
afraid. I'm almost afraid to ask how old you were.
So that was 1999, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I was around 11.
Wow.
Oh man.
I'm 30 now.
that is-
So
You couldn't have been 29 or 28.
That makes you feel good.
Here's what I will say about that. It is so cool to hear that, because I think back to sitting in the crowd at WrestleMania 6 and seeing Hogan and Warrior, and to think that there was, a generation of kids who watched that match or were in the audience for that match or whatever. That's a really cool feeling. And then to see you going out and tearing it up every night. Thank you for that. That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, man. Very cool. Yeah.
So basically what we're saying in this whole conversation, basically it's to recap these last 10 minutes, is I would not be here without you guys. That's
right.
Basically what we said so far.
So we gave you your inspiration, then we rocket strapped you.
Yeah.
The end.
And I think now that you've done the show, the next title match that happens,
I'm winning 110%.
Yeah.
There's no question
I
about
mean,
it.
I can't lose. I mean, I'm gonna have to tell somebody. I'm like, look, whatever booking decisions are being made here, I was on the podcast. I hope you know.
They're already listening.
Yeah.
We're booking everything. Nobody realizes it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Drew McIntyre. He did the podcast, and next match, bang.
Boom. Just saying.
If we would have scheduled this podcast before TakeOver.
Yeah.
Now, I thought of that. I thought of that. I was like, oh, man, he'd be NXT champion right now if he'd done the podcast before.
Yeah.
But we knew you're busy, man.
Yeah.
That's true.
You're busy,
We
busy
can't
man.
just hand everything to you. You got to work for something here, Johnny. Come on.
Okay, but I seriously, I want to find out how this all starts for you. Where does it all begin? Are you like the rest of us? You're the nerd at home in front of the TV and discover wrestling? How's it start for you?
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much. Like I said earlier, I was a fat kid growing up. I was a little chubby kid. And for me, going to school, like that wasn't really the time period where wrestling was cool. I'm sure we've all been there. Like we had a few friends who were like, yeah, wrestling. But for the majority of us, like wrestling wasn't the cool thing to do. But I was a big fan of, like Power Rangers and Batman and superheroes and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And, I discovered wrestling on TV one day and my buddy was into it. And my next door neighbor, and he put it on, and I immediately fell in love with it. There was just something about it, and I think, like I said, I like Power Rangers and Batman and all those sort of things. It's just the colorful characters and athleticism. And plus, I realized that being Batman and being a Power Ranger and being a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, they aren't real life jobs, but I can be a professional wrestler. So that ended up working out well for me. But yeah, I was just a nerdy, chubby kid who loved professional wrestling. And I got very lucky early on because I got to get into a ring for the first time when I was 8 years old. And I might have actually, again, they're bringing this full circle again, I might have actually seen you guys wrestle as, Sex and Hardcastle and Christian. I think I saw you guys at various independent shows.
Man.
Under those monikers as well when you guys were first starting. But
yeah, there's a good chance that you saw me wrestle Jimmy Boogie Woogie Man Valiant.
Oof.
Yeah.
I was so tapped in because at that point when I was 8 years old, I was doing like the music and stuff for JT.
Oh, wow.
Which I'd like to point out. Wrestling at takeovers and wrestling on big stages is nowhere near as stressful as it was playing a CD for people's entrances as an 8-year-old boy. It's the most stressful situation in my life is when someone gave me an AC/DC CD and I had to queue up track 11 at the same exact time. It's before technology and stuff. That was probably the most stressful situation in my life. But yeah, so
it's so crazy to think that is a distinct possibility that man. Whew.
This whole podcast is just about making you guys feel old, by the
way. Essentially, yes. Thank you for that.
That was my goal. I was like, I'm going to go into this thing and just really make them feel old.
So how did you get, when you said you were doing the music and that, how did you get that connection? Because it reminds me that when we were kids, we knew the local promoter ran the motel down the street. So when we knew the wrestling shows were coming to town, we'd just go and hang around the office of the motel till they came out, and we were like, basically thinking he was doing us a favor. We're actually doing him a favor. Like, we were saying, hey, we'll do anything. We'll set up the chairs. We'll carry the ring. And he's like, yeah, okay. So we go back there, carry the ring posts. I'll do all the grunt work, thinking it was the best thing ever. But was it kind of the same thing for you?
Kind of. So my dad owns a catering company, and at his catering company, he has a huge parking lot. And in the middle to late 90s, huge parking lots were kind of the go-to for independent wrestling companies. So an independent promotion, JT, Cleveland Upper Wrestling and things like that, he would come to my dad and be like, hey, you have a huge parking lot. Can we run a show in your back parking lot? And my dad, knowing that I was a huge wrestling fan, said, yes, of course. So we let them run shows. They had like King Kong Bundy and Jimmy Superfly Snuka and Greg the Hammer Valentine and Bruce the Barber Beefcake, and all those guys made appearances and stuff. But my dad was like, oh, like, if we run a show, can my son like roll around the ring or something like that? Because he knew I was a huge wrestling fan. So they'd run the shows, and actually at one point, and I say this is amazingly unprofessional, by the way. I like to preface this by saying this. But so JT let little 8-year-old Johnny Gargano actually do a dark match, kind of. So me and my friend, who was another 8-year-old kid, I guess the show was running late. So he was like, oh yeah, Johnny, like, go ahead and get in the ring with your friend and put on a match. And again, no training, nothing like that. But I thought I knew what I was doing. So me and my friend got in the ring, and we rolled around a little bit. And in my head, I still remember this. My wrestling name at the time was Jag, because John Anthony Gargano are my initials. So my finish at the time was the Perfect Plex, which I called the Jagged Rock.
Wow, good one.
So I distinctly remember this. I was 8 years old, mind you. I was 8 years old. Oh, yeah. I had Jagged Rock. I had Jaggravator. Anything with like that you could put AG in that. That's what I was going with. Jagged Edge. There was tons of them, man. So I distinctly remember this in my head. So we're going towards the finish, I guess, at this point. And I hook my friend for the Jagged Rock, because of course I'm going over. Hook him for the Jagged Rock. And in my head, it is the most beautiful Perfect Plex this side of Kurt Hennig. Like, it is amazing. Like, I got so much hair. Dump 'em, boom, 1, 2, 3. You watch it back, and it's like the worst, tiniest little small package you could ever imagine. Like, it just basically just went, but in my little 8-year-old mind, WrestleMania, man. That was my moment, and I nailed it. But that's awesome. So I was able to wrestle in a dark match when I was 8 years old.
And now we need to get you a Paul Smackage shirt, since that was your first finishing move. And and honestly, and most importantly, is your dad okay? Yes,
he's okay. He just had quadruple heart surgery, quadruple bypass surgery, and he's healing up. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it to Takeover, just because of the time frame and everything like that. Like, traveling was not an option, but he still actually called me. He called me as I was getting on the bus to head to the venue, the day of the show. And he said, hey, how do I order your show tonight? And I was like, you can't really order it. You need to like download that. And he's 75 years old. Yeah. I was like, you need to download the app, the WWE Network, and then you have to watch it on that. He's like, okay, so how do I watch it on my TV? I'm like, I'm getting ready to go to the venue. I don't really have time to guide you through how to download an app on your television and then log in the WWE Network and then search the WWE NXT and then go to Takeover. I was like, I'll send you a link. That's all I can do, man. He figured it out, though. He figured it out, and he watched it. So
good for him.
Give him credit for that.
Well,
that's awesome.
He had to have been proud, because I guess we got to go there, Birdman. We got to take it there, since that was an amazing segue. I know I'm jumping, but damn it, what a good match!
Oh, thank you.
Best reaction ever.
I don't know how to react to that, because I'm like, okay. You know how it is, though. I mean, you guys know how it is.
I know.
Like, you have great matches, and everyone else loves them, and everyone's going crazy over them. But for you, it's just like, okay, like I think I did okay.
Yeah.
Like, I think it was fine. Like I'm my worst critic, and I hate all of my matches. But I'm glad. I guess some people like it.
Yeah. Are you aware when it's? Cause I think everybody's goal is to. I remember once. I'm not going to say the producer. You know, I was on Raw and came up to me and said, "Hey, you're opening the show and it's a pretty big segment. You know, we need you to try to have a good one." And I was like, "Oh, well, there goes my plan. I was planning on going out there and shit in the bed." You know, so it's like, you know, the goal is to, you know, obviously go out there and have an amazing match, and you know, it also, the crowd plays a really big role in that as well, and they can make a great match even better. A good match seem great. Like that helps a lot. The whole atmosphere of it is really what makes a whole like everybody has a part in it. You know, whether it's the crowd, the two wrestlers, the referee, the presentation of the match, the storyline, everything. So it all has to click on that night, and it was just like kind of like a perfect storm. Is that kind of how it felt as it was going? Like, were you aware of how special it was and how great of a match it was when you were going, or is that something you worry about after?
It felt good in the moment. Like, you know, that feeling really, okay, this is going well. Like, takeovers are very special. The atmospheres for takeover are always normally pretty crazy. Mm-hmm. So in that moment, I was like, okay, like we pretty much have them right where we want them. You know, I mean, the crowd's pretty invested. But at no point did it feel like, oh, this is like match of the year we're having right now. Like, at no point did I feel that way. Just because I think, like, I don't know if it's the same for you guys. Like, I've done this for so long and I've had so many matches where it's just like, especially like on the indies for 10 years, where I've gone out there for over 30 minutes and I've done crazy things and I've done ridiculous stuff. And, I've had crowds going nuts and things like that, where it's just like, you kind of expect it of yourself. Like, if it's not there, you're kind of like, oh, what's wrong with me? But it was my first time in the WWE bubble, sort of having like such a huge story and like a hype package and like that atmosphere and things like that. And just kind of seeing how differently things with cameras and the way it's shot and the way it's told and the way the story is presented. And that was really my first time of being a part of that bubble. I think the last time I really had that was with the DIY versus Revival 2 out of 3 Falls match, which was also like, people praise that a lot too in Toronto. But like, at no point did I feel in the middle of the match like this was earth shattering. It just felt like it was a good match and like things were going as we planned. But to see the feedback afterwards, that's when I started to realize, oh, like maybe we did do something that was really good. Cause it was obviously the most feedback I've ever gotten for a match. Like Gorilla was insane afterwards. Everything was insane afterwards. And, you know, it's so weird because you're out there and you do it and you come in the back and everyone's pumped and, you know, you're walking around and people are pumped, but you're kind of still in that, like, oh, you know, it was good, I guess. I sat back and I watched it at the airport like that the next morning. And I was like, oh yeah, it's pretty good. And then I watched it again and I was like, oh, maybe it is better than I thought it was. The more time I see it and the more like time goes apart from it, I'm kind of accepting more and more that maybe it was something special, but yeah. I'm very even keel. So,
and it's cool too when you go back and you get that recognition too, right? Like a standing ovation behind that curtain or whatever it was. I don't know if you got that. I'm sure you did, but like that's happened to me a few times. And when I was on my pretty good run, I remember it like happened a few times in a row. I'd come back and get that, and then it's like almost like when you're going up the ramp after every time, it's like, yeah, everyone's going to be standing there giving me a standing ovation. You walk through and they're not there anymore. It's like, oh, hey, hold on a second. What's going on here?
That was sort of my measuring stick. I was like, look, if after this match, if people aren't going crazy in Gorilla, then I'm going to have failed in this attempt to do something cool. But yeah, like I got in the back and like Triple H and Shawn Michaels and everyone back there with people who I have the utmost respect for that are telling me that, you know, I did something special. I mean, I guess I'll take their word for it. That it was something special. But yeah, like it's going to get to the point now where I'm going to come in the back and no one's going to say anything to me. I'm going to just really hate myself. But
yeah, you're going to be so disappointed. And you know what I want to...
That's so scary though.
Yeah.
That's so scary that's going to happen. It's 100% going to happen.
Well, Before, I would also like to highlight the fact that Jay, in us putting you over and saying how good your match was, somehow brought it around to him getting standing ovations coming through.
What?
Just throwing that out there. That happened.
Guys, come on. This isn't about me right now. Anyway.
For these few seconds.
Yes.
Well, I to give you my take, man, I watched it the next morning because I'm in Ireland and there's time difference and everything. And I really wanted to set the time aside to be able to just sit down with nothing but that match. And, you know, I had to go back and forth and do stuff. And then, but I sat down with it and man, it was just such a great ride from, just the outside interference and the way that was all done. And then, you know, Candice hopping over and them fighting off. It was just all really, really well done. And I still didn't know who was going to go over. I was like, what is going to happen here? How are they going to take this? Because I think, you know, from a personal perspective, that crowd wanted to see you champion, obviously. And I think it's got to end with you becoming champion at some point. Oh,
but, I mean, you
just
think
has to. It has to. It just, I'm so invested, right? And as an audience member, this guy has to at some point do it. That seemed like the perfect opportunity, but I also get we talked about it before you came on, setting up an entire card and everything. So, looking forward to see where it goes, but I am really excited to see where they take you next.
It really felt like a perfect storm that night. And I knew going in that like Philly would be behind me just because of my history in Philly and like their history basically supporting underdogs and I'll always perpetually be an underdog. But I didn't, like there's still, I'm sure you guys know, there's still always that fear when you're going through the curtain.
Right.
At least there is for me, where I'm like, oh man, I hope what I think is going to happen, and they're actually going to care about me when I come through this curtain. Like, it doesn't matter what happens in my career. Like, that's always a fear of mine. No matter if I'm like, whatever, if I'm wrestling in front of 50 people or 15,000 people, I'm always like, I hope at least a couple of them know who I am, just because that's how I am. That's how I'm built. But yeah, like the overwhelming support I got that night was crazy. Like I said, it's a perfect storm, like the story and just everything we had going into it. And, you know, Andrade is absolutely fantastic. I can't say enough good things about him because he's just so talented and he's come so far too, just in his work so far. Like, he used to wear it was crazy. He used to wear a mask and he used to just be, you know, La Sombra, but now he's such a well-rounded performer with facials and body language and selling and things like that, which you don't normally have wearing a mask. He's just developed that very quickly. Yeah. And people always talk about how good of chemistry me and him have, and I think we do have great chemistry. And I remember, like, I was listening to the US podcast, of course, and you brought up how Jay, you had such good chemistry with Randy Orton because, like, the tendency, one of you guys had a tendency to slow down, or the other guy had a tendency to speed up. I really think that's what me and Andrade have as well. Is I have more of a tendency to slow down a bit, and he has a tendency to go fast. So that kind of creates a perfect storm as well of, you know, that mesh where you kind of even each other out. Yep. And I feel that's what we got that night as well.
Yeah, and you know, backing up a little bit too, when you said that you got, you know, that feeling of being scared before you go through the curtain, and that fear is what drives performers that perform at a high level. I think and there's always that, because it's live, right? There's always that fear of failing. And that I think that when people use that fear and spin it around and do great things with it, that's when you've got it figured out, you know? And once you lose that fear, it means you don't really care or take pride in what you're doing anymore. And I always got nervous before I went out, whether it was a live event, whether it was a pay-per-view, whether it was Raw. I always had butterflies because I cared about what I did. So it makes perfect sense to me. But what I really liked what you guys did with the match is, especially with you saying this is kind of your first time in the spotlight, like in a main event match on a WWE branded show, it's a big deal. But right the night before one of the biggest pay-per-views, and you didn't go out there and you didn't rush. And, you know, you guys took your time and built the story. And when that happens, and when you take the time to build the necessary steps, you're not just going out there and looking for just and we've talked about it on this podcast before, like sometimes it seems some people get caught in this this trend almost of doing big things just to get a reaction because it's the easy way to go. But you guys really had the story behind you, and you took your time to continue telling it. And most importantly, yeah, you guys sold everything you did. You built everything. You did some cool things when it needed to happen. Like I just thought that the structure of it was really, really good.
No, thank you. I mean, that goes to attest too, I think, to what NXT is all about. I think too, is we were able to go out there for, I think the match was 32 minutes. Mm-hmm. The whole, I think, segment from package to my exit, end of the show, was, I think, 48 minutes. And that sort of time, to be given that sort of time, really, to go out there and kind of paint your picture, doesn't happen. I think I read online that the last time there was a match over 30 minutes in WWE was Rock and Cena from WrestleMania 28.
Wow.
And when I read that, I was like, oh, wow, that is mind blowing to me that that was the last time a match happened over 30 minutes. Because we do live events, do things like that. And like, there's many times where I go 25, 30 minutes, and it's just like, that's just what I do. You know, that's, time really is like, I think I've heard a couple people say this now, and it really resonates with me now more than ever, is like, wins and losses are cool, but the thing you want more than anything is time.
Right.
Because if you get time out there to paint your picture, like, that's when you really get over, is if you're given that chance to go out there for however long you need and kind of paint your picture. Like, nothing can touch you if you get that chance. And I think that's what NXT is all about, is going out there and putting on that product and putting on that in-ring product that I think is untouchable anywhere in the world, I think, right now, with the talent roster we have. But yeah, I was really lucky to be given that shot, be given that opportunity, and I'm looking forward to see what happens in the future.
Well, you hit it out of the park too, right? Because if you can get those opportunities, and if you don't come through, you might not get it again. So, like you said, time. I didn't know what to do with 6 or 7 minutes in a match. It was like, man, I don't know. It was harder for me to do that than it was to have a 25, 30-minute match. Because, like I said, you can really, lay things out and really tell a great story. So, I'm sure you'll get many more chances after that showing for sure. Yeah,
just exactly what you said. Like 6 to 10 minutes, like, and people say like, "Oh man, I got 10 minutes tonight. Like I'm lucky." Like, man, like I'd rather go 25, 30 than go 6 minutes in my life. Like, I don't care about going out there and like whatever, killing myself, or going out there and laying it all on the line. Like, I don't want to go out there for 6 minutes and just have a bing bang bang, like go out there and go nuts really quick. Like, I'd rather go out there and be able to lay some stuff out and sit in moments, and because that's really what it's all about, right? Like, you guys know, like, it's all about the moments you create. Like, that's the memorable thing that people remember. They don't remember a million high spots. They don't remember a million things like that. And I know that's weird to hear from me, who is an indie guy at heart. But you just learn that it's all about moments.
Well, and okay, you're an indie guy. We're all indie guys, but you're a guy who could do all of that stuff in succession and do that kind of thing, but you don't. You make them, these spectacular things that you sprinkle in, mean something. And yes, time helps, but let's rewind back to the Cruiserweight Classic, and you and Ciampa had an amazing match in 11 minutes?
Yeah, people don't realize that. That's the funny thing, is people don't realize that it was like an 11-minute match. And we made it feel like it was a 30-minute match.
It felt way bigger and longer than 11 minutes. Yeah.
And I remember that night, too, going out, because what people don't realize, the Cruiserweight Classic was taped all in one day. Like, the first round was taped all in one day. And so that's basically 16 matches.
Whoa.
And we were match 16 out of 16.
Oh, man. Talk about being afraid if a crowd's going to react.
Yeah. Match 16 out of 16 of a show basically filled with indie guys like us who want to go out there and go nuts and kill it and do everything under the sun. And I remember before we were getting ready to go out, William Regal came up to me and he was like, "Don't let me down." And I was like, "Oh, come on, man. You can't say that to me. There's a match 16 out of 16 and go out there and do this." But yeah, like, luckily, like, I think too, the way the brackets were staggered is like, they never told the crowd what matches they were getting. So the crowd, as the night went on, kind of realized like, oh, Johnny's not out yet. And oh, Tommaso's not out yet. And then when the final two guys came before us, I think they started putting it together in their head of like, oh man, we're going to get this match. So I think that really helped us because like the crowd anticipated it all night. And then when it finally happened, like I think they gave us everything they had for those 11 minutes.
Well, and from there, then you guys, you know, form a proper team and then take off, like you mentioned briefly with the Takeover match in Toronto. You guys in Revival, man. It really, they're having these great matches with American Alpha. Then they're on fire, and you guys just add kerosene to it. Like they run straight into you guys, and then you have this succession of amazing matches. Before we get into your single stuff and the struggle from tag team to singles that Jay and I have both been through, talk us through some of that stuff with the Revival, man, because it was special too. It's
interesting because before I came to WWE, I was a singles guy. I've been a singles guy my whole career. That's just what I've done my whole life, basically. And me and Tommaso were kind of just thrown together. Yeah. We did our tryout together. We knew each other from the indies. So, I mean, we met a few times. We wrestled each other a few times, but it wasn't like we were super close or anything. And it just ended up working out where they had two spots in this thing called the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. Mm-hmm. And they were looking for a way to bring us both in somehow to just get our foot in the door some way, just because they liked us and they wanted to see what we could do. So they threw me and Tommaso together. And for some reason, like our mixed match pairing just ended up catching lightning in a bottle. And it was harder. That was the hardest part, honestly, was kind of learning on the fly on how to be a tag team wrestler, especially with someone as different as Tommaso, because we are completely opposite people. We are completely opposite in the ring, but I think that really blended very well. And I think our styles, especially when we got to the Revival, meshed so well. I think we had like the fireworks, and the Revival had the old school sort of rugged tag team wrestling that just meshed really well with our fireworks, and it made a perfect combination. And it felt like, because our first takeover was in Brooklyn, and we did that match, and it was universally praised. And after that match, we kind of felt like we had something. Like me and Tommaso were really starting to get our stride, and that was about maybe 6 months to a year maybe into our tag team run. But that was the first time we felt like, oh man, I think we're starting to click here. I think we got something special with this DIY thing. So we did the DIY thing in Brooklyn. We started there. Then, of course, the next takeover in Toronto, we won the tag titles in the 2 out of 3 Falls match, which has been universally praised by a lot of people. And, I can't say enough good things about the Revival. I know you guys put them over a lot as well. And, having worked with them as much as we have, like, they're absolutely fantastic. And, I know the last time we worked with them, because we work with them a lot. We work with them a lot on live events. We work with them a lot, various other places. But I remember the last time I saw them, and I knew they were going up. I told them to go become the millionaires they deserve to be, because they are tag team wrestling. They really are. And I think, like I said, we talked about time earlier. I think if they're given time to show the world what they can really do, I think they're gonna change the game. Yeah. It really that is the beast of it with WWE, and getting up there is still getting that time, and I think they will, and I think talent eventually does. And it's an interesting kind of. So did you find? Was it a struggle, to find your tag team groove like you talked about, but then to come out of that and go, back to singles because of Ciampa's injury? Like, how did that, which did you find more difficult, I guess? Having established yourself now, more or less, in a tag team on this stage now, okay, here I am. I'm back to what I was doing before, but did it feel different? I'm going to say it was harder to learn to be in a tag team, just because the WWE way of tag team wrestling is so much different than, say, the open landscape of independent tag team wrestling. There's so many more rules. There's so many more restrictions. Legal can only touch legal, illegal can't touch legal. You got a 5 count in the ring. Like, there's just things like that where you're like, if you're on the indies, it's like, oh, we're doing the tag match. It's basically a 4-way, really, when it comes down to it. Is there's no rules. We can be in the ring for 20 minutes, running high spots and doing big stuff and things like that. So, I mean, at the time when me and Tommaso were teaming, we were still actually teaming on the indies as well. Like, we weren't specific, like restricted to just doing WWE stuff at that point. We were traveling around and we were still doing indies while we were on basically NXT television, which was unheard of at the time. So we were teaming all over the indies, but we'd have different matches on the indies that would require not a lot of rules. Then we go to NXT television, which would require a lot of rules. So it really took until we were kind of just here to kind of hone in on, okay, so we can only be in the ring for 5 seconds. Like, got this. That took so much more work than it did to come out of the tag team and be a singles wrestler. Because for my money, like I said, I did singles wrestling my whole career. Singles wrestling is so much easier than tag team wrestling. Singles wrestling, I mean, is probably harder on the body than it is tag team wrestling. And I remember after I started my singles run, I did tag matches, and I was like, oh man, this is so much easier. It's so much easier because, like, say you take the heat and then you make a hot tag and then you lay there for a long time. You don't got to take heat and then make your own comeback and then get into false finishes. Like, it's so much, I feel so much, it's easier on the body, but it's also harder to plan, I think, as a tag team wrestler.
Yeah. I think the benefit of being a tag team, too, when you're first breaking in or coming in, and we've talked about it before, is that you have somebody else to play off of. And you can get comfortable in that sense. And, like I said, it gives you somebody to play off of, and you can work on your personalities and your personas in that way. Did you find that it was a little bit harder as a singles, or was it just because you were used to doing that before that it almost was easier than doing it in a tag setting?
No, it's way harder developing persona as a singles wrestler.
Yeah.
As a tag team wrestler, like you said, like, you can play off someone, especially like if you have an in-ring segment or things like that. It's so much easier if you're doing something comical or you're doing something like that. Like, it's so much easier just to be able to play off a different personality. When you're kind of out there on your own and you make a joke, you're kind of just making a joke to yourself. And if it doesn't get over, then you kind of look like an idiot. If you're out there with someone else and you make a joke and they can laugh and they can be like, oh yeah, that's cool. But, yeah, like you said, it's way harder as a singles wrestler to get your persona over, just because, like you said, you don't have someone else you can kind of rely on as your go-to guy. So, yeah.
But I look at you and I watch you and I watch your promos and I watch just the way you seem to be, and it doesn't seem like this guy is far off of the guy that we watch wrestle. Like, it seems like you're pretty transparent. Am I kind of close there in reading you?
Yeah, 100%. I just try to be myself. A lot of people ask me, I mean, Johnny Gargano is my real name. I don't know how I lucked into that, but
that's awesome, by the way.
Yeah. I don't know how that happened, but I kind of got lucky there. But no, like, I try to, people ask me, like, why do you get the reactions you do? And I'm not putting myself over as getting huge reactions or anything like that, but people say, like, hey, why do people care so much? And I think it's just because I'm very open. I'm an open book. I am not shy about the things that I think are cool. And when everyone asks me, like, they're starting into wrestling or they're doing things like that, they ask me for advice. And the biggest advice I can give them is never lose the fact that you're a fan. Mm-hmm. Never lose that passion. Never lose the fact of, like, always remember what made you a wrestling fan, because I'm very open, and I'm probably more open than I should be about a lot of things. Like when I had my first action figure, or when I got a shirt on WWEshop.com, or my face is on a chair for the first time. That stuff is really freaking cool for me. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to share it with the world, and I'm not going to be like, yep, that's what's supposed to happen because I'm a superstar and I'm supposed to have figures and shirts and music. No, like, at the end of the day, I'm just a kid living out my dream, and that's really freaking cool that I'm able to have an action figure. That's a lifelong dream. Like, I'm going to share that as such, because that's what it is. I just try to be open. I try to be honest. And I think, too, people kind of see that. If it's fake, if it's not real, they know it's not real. if they see a real person out there struggling, if they see a real person out there fighting for what he wants, I think that's something to get behind. And I just try to give them that.
And it does come across, you know, and I think about, because I always pictured, especially as a heel, Edge was fully character, but you're right. At the base of it all, people still knew, oh, this was the kid who went to WrestleMania and always wanted to do this, and now he's just a prick heel champion. So, but with you just have this way about you where it feels really genuine, and obviously because it is genuine, and there's very few people that can kind of, you know, tap into that. I'm really having a hard time coming up with names like Rey Mysterio, and this isn't a size thing, but Rey, Daniel Bryan, guys like that seem to have this, I don't know, this, you know, sincerity to their characters, because they're not really characters, even though Rey looks like a damn superhero. Like, there's just something genuine there. And I feel like something that an audience member goes, he's one of us. Like, no doubt about it. He is one of us. We're living vicariously through Johnny Wrestling, struggling to get through this match, you know, to become champion or whatever it is.
Yeah. I said many times, I think if I was 6'5", I'd be a completely different wrestler. Like, I would not be the character I am, and that's obvious. But I think people see me. I'm 5'10". I'm 175 pounds. But like, I think they can see me in the ring and they could watch me do what I do, and I think they can see themselves in me. I've always believed that there's like different levels. There's like, you see, like you say, you see someone like The Rock, and you're like, oh man, like I want to be The Rock. Or you see someone like me, and you're like, I could be that person. I could be in the ring fighting like that. Like, I feel like people can see themselves in me. Because like I said, I am just a fan. I am as much a fan as they are. And the only difference is I get to put on fancy little tights and go out there and live out my dream. And I think they see that, and that's what gets them going.
And I guess it's kind of cool too, the whole like Johnny kind of craze too, like with the Johnny football and the Johnny hockey with Johnny Goudreau in place of the Calgary Flames. I don't know if you're a hockey fan or not, but now you can kind of use the Johnny Wrestling moniker, and that kind of worked out too. And it's kind of a cool little thing.
It's crazy. Like, it's crazy how that came about, because literally, like, this was like, I don't know, I can't even think of a time frame here. Maybe like 5 years ago, maybe longer than that. Like, the Johnny football thing was really popular, and I think I just sent out just a random tweet that said like, oh, if he can be Johnny football, I can be Johnny Wrestling. Mm-hmm. And it was just a blow off tweet. It wasn't anything that I put a lot of thought into. I was like, oh, I'm watching a game and that's funny, and here you go. And then the next weekend, I was in indie shows, and people started chanting Johnny Wrestling. And then as like the weeks went on, it just caught on more and more and more. And like, I did like PWG, and I did things like bigger indies, and they did it they went crazy with it. And I think once people saw like the bigger indies doing it, like it kind of trickled down to the smaller feds I was doing. And then, you know, of course I capitalized that and made merchandise with it and things like that. And then it just became the thing I was known for. And it's just crazy how just a one-off tweet just kind of redefines your whole career.
Yeah, and becomes your moniker now, as well as Johnny Kick Him in the Ding Ding.
Yeah. And I wasn't like, honestly, when I get the joke, honest, like the joke for everybody is, when he gets to WWE, he's not going to be able to be Johnny Wrestling anymore. He's going to be Johnny Sports Entertainment. I get that tweet literally every day. But it's like, I had no idea. Like, when I started here, I was like, oh man, I wonder if they're actually going to go with the Johnny Wrestling thing, because like anyone knows, like the wrestling thing's sort of taboo. And I remember when I did my first singles promo, where I came back and I said I was back and I'm going to be this, I'm going to be that. I pitched to say I'm going to be Johnny Wrestling again. And they were like, the writers were very unsure if like that's what they wanted. And I remember I went and I did my promo for Triple H, and I was like, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, that's good, but you should add this. And he added the Johnny Wrestling thing. And I was like, you want me to, can I say Johnny Wrestling? And Hunter was like, yep, I want Johnny Wrestling. And I said, okay, deal. Nice. I'm going with Johnny Wrestling forward. So I'm glad we're going with that, because that's my bread and butter.
Yeah. Well, and okay, from the character standpoint and Johnny Wrestling and this kind of everyman ideal, but then you get in there and like I watched the match with Cassius Ohno, and that is an amazing match. It was such a great difference in styles, really well put together, but it's the little things, and not a lot of people do the little things. You are one of the guys that does the little things, and I'm so happy when I see them. Like, just remembering not to throw things away. You know, you always remind the audience, like, oh yeah, well, against Velveteen Dream, he took a swinging neck breaker through the ropes to start the heat, but when he hit the, I guess the flatliner out of the corner, you went back to the neck after going for a cover. Like, just a little, just to remind us, like, oh yeah, that was worked before. It's not thrown away. And I appreciate that. I know Jay will definitely appreciate that. But the match with Ohno, I really, really liked the difference in styles and what you guys, put together there. It was a really, really fun match to watch.
And I was pumped that I was able to do that too, because I feel like Cassius Ohno is, like I said, he's been amazing for a very, very long time, and he just hasn't found himself yet in NXT. And I think if you watch me and Cassius Ohno, that's who Cassius Ohno is, and that's who he can be. And I think like he's got all the potential in the world, of course. I think the world of him. I think he's fantastic. But I was happy I was able to go out there and do that match with him because we have a long history. Yeah, that's kind of what I pride myself on. I am very not the most athletic person. I know people will see me and people will say, oh, you're a smaller guy. So you go to the top rope a lot and you do all these flips and stuff. I really don't. I really don't. I never go to the top rope, which is, people always expect me to, but I never go to the top rope. But the thing that I feel like I have, that I've always liked, that I've always kind of been like, oh, that's cool, is the way people sell. And for me, I know that's my bread and butter. I know that's what I'm pretty good at, is the selling aspect of things. So when I'm in there with a guy who has heavy artillery like Cassius Ohno, that I can just take and take and take and sell and sell and sell, that's when I really shine, I feel. Because I don't shine. I can go out there and I can do some cool stuff, but it's better when I'm taking cool stuff and making it look even cooler. That's when I feel like I'm at my best.
You shine by selling, which in turn shines your opponent. And there's very few. We've talked about baby faces on this, podcast, and I've always said, Steamboat and Mickie James in the women's division, and Sammy as a baby face, and you're in that discussion, man, in terms of a baby, Shawn Michaels as a baby face. Like, you're very reminiscent of Shawn too. And I know Jay thinks the same thing. Like, some of those close-up shots they had on you during Takeover, or during your matches with Ohno, or, any of your singles matches, just you seem to know when that camera is going to pick up on that kind of, that dazed, bloody-lipped, expression that adds so many layers, more than, a huge move would.
Yeah, you have to open the window and let them peek in, right? Like, I mean, and Adam just mentioned Shawn Michaels, and I remember wrestling Shawn Michaels many times, and it's like, well, do you want to do something bigger? He's like, no, just sell. And it's because, he understood that part of it, and to me, he's the best that ever did it, right? So, I mean, right there tells you how important selling and selling properly is. And yeah, I see that in you, and obviously I feel like, and I don't know this for sure, but I know that he goes to the performance center and that sort of thing, but I don't know how much time you've spent with him, but if it has, is that rubbing off at you, or are these just things that just naturally, you don't even realize you're doing it, you just do it? Yeah,
I mean, Shawn was always my guy growing up. He was my go-to guy for everything. He's probably the reason that I got into wrestling. But yeah, like, he comes to the performance center a lot, and I've gotten to spend a decent bit of time with him and just learn various things from him. And like, when it comes to the match with Andrade and the match with Cash and things like that, like, I always do rely on him, because my instincts are, more of the selling thing, and I know that's what he was the best in the world at. Mm-hmm. So he has helped me an immense amount in just not only targeting that, but also making it go even further. Because for me, like I said, like I have the indie instincts of doing a cool thing and selling it, but he really is great at honing in on making stuff mean so much more. And he's really factored in the fact he's like, I've done so much stuff for so long where I think something's cool, but I don't think it's that cool. But he's really good at honing in like, look, you got to realize like this may be normal for you, but it's not normal for everyone sitting at home. Like everyone sitting at home is going to think this is really freaking cool. I know you're used to it, but you can't be like that. You got to let this thing breathe and you got to let this thing happen. So he's really great at honing in on my selling ability and things like that and making it mean so much more. And, it's pretty amazing. I'm really, really lucky to, be able to really kind of sit back and talk shop and kind of sit under the learning tree of basically the guy I idolized growing up. Like it's done absolutely amazing things for me. And I thought it was an okay wrestler coming here, but it's made me 10 times better being able to work with Sean. And, I was really pumped because at Takeover, I got a chance my mom and my whole family was there. So I got a chance to introduce Sean to my mom.
That's cool.
And, I was like, oh, Sean, actually, here's my mom. I'm going to introduce you to my mom. She actually painted you a full life-size portrait of you on my wall when I was 8 years old. So I can introduce you to.
That's great.
But he's so humble though. Like he just shrugs it off. And, yeah, it's pretty cool, man. It's pretty wild.
Yeah. I think we'd be remiss to say too how Almas, how well he sold in that match too. And like you said, coming from Mexico and having some adjustments with the mask and those sorts of things, and he did a really, I thought, great job with his facials and things like that too.
Yeah, I mean, it takes two to tango, and as you guys know, and that really is kind of the beauty of that match too. Is the beauty? I think they always say a lot at the Performance Center. It's about who can outsell who. Is basically when you get a great match. That's what it comes down to. If one guy isn't doing his job, it's not going to work. If Andrade was out there just walking around just fine and I was out there going crazy with the selling, the match wouldn't have been what it was. It was two guys going out there trying to outsell each other. And I think that's the beauty of what we do.
Yeah, and to Jay's point, you can tell he's really coming to his own. I think I saw you guys live against Authors of Pain and Revival, and him against Aleister Black at Takeover from Orlando. And I remember watching him thinking, okay, he's got something. He's honing it in, but he's got something there. And I actually remember him looking over at me at one point and kind of giving me the head nod. And I was like, okay, he's aware of everything that's happening right now. Because that's when we were sitting in the audience. They brought Beth and I out for the cheap pop. But Beth, of course, being the hog that she is, it was all her idea. So, Oh, hey, and we'd also be remiss without mentioning the fact that Candace got signed. How cool is this for you?
Awesome.
Like, is this not everything all, like, how do you wake up and just go, what is happening? Is this a dream?
It feels like it. Nothing feels real anymore. I get to go to work and hang out with Shawn Michaels, and I get to see my wife, and it's all pretty crazy. Yeah, I mean, it's super cool. I'm super proud of her, as you know. Like I'm never shy about how I feel about her. And I mean, people, like, for so long, people were like, "Oh, why isn't Candace at WWE? She should be there." Like, Johnny, put in a word for her, like, get her signed. I'm like, no, like, that's not what this is about. Like, and she would not want that. She does not want me to go and say, "Hey, hire my wife," because that's not what this is about. Like, for a very, very long time, Candice LeRae has been one of my favorite wrestlers in the world. And that's not just because she's my wife. She is immensely talented, and she's doing this a very, very long time. She deserved to be here. So as just a wrestling fan and not her husband, I'm pumped she signed. I mean, it's super cool that my wife is under contract and I get to hang out with her more. But as a wrestling fan, like, one of the best wrestlers in the world got signed. And that's, I think, the coolest thing for me.
Yeah, I completely get that. Being married to Beth, and it reminded me in watching the Rumble, and this is no knock on any of the other wives, but I was so proud that when Beth came in, there was not a mention from that audience of Edge at all.
Yep.
And I think she was the only one that didn't get a husband's chant of some sort. And I was so proud of that. I was because she did it all herself. And not to say that was the case with the other girls, but she's just known as Beth. And now we're a couple. Okay, great. So I totally get where you're coming from. And I told you too, in the Mae Young, my favorite match was her against Shayna. I just thought it was so cool the way they put it together and the way she sold and the way she just the way she works. We had Bailey on and I told her, I was like, man, you and Candice would make like the new Rock and Roll Express, like just this amazing baby face like tag team that you want to get behind. But yeah, I had to mention that before, we let you go. Cause I know
should also mention that I gave them an awesome tag team name and Adam didn't like it. So
what was it?
What was it?
It was Huggers from Another Mother.
I mean, I do like that. You don't like it?
I kind of like it. I gotta admit.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
It pains me to admit I kind of like it.
So
I see tweets all the time too from people saying like how two of the most sympathetic baby faces in the world. Like I'm one of the most sympathetic baby faces in the world on the male side, and she's one of the most sympathetic baby faces in the world on the female side, are married together. So it's just a perfect combination of sympathetic.
Like you guys must get out of you must get out of bed bumping for each other, like just selling all the way to the kitchen.
Only on Sundays though. That's the only time we use that.
Yeah. It's been really fun to watch the progression since you started. To see where you are now and really just see all of these finer points. It was all there, but you've really just dialed everything in. And I was telling Jay this before we started, when I told him that we were going to have you on this week. And I said, like, I can truly say that for me watching right now, you and AJ, I mean, you're neck and neck with him, man. Like I love watching your stuff, and it really it like I hunker down and go, all right, man, I can't wait to sit down and watch what he's going to do here. And I know you have opponents, and I know they're a part of it too, don't get me wrong, but you're a recurring theme, and there's a reason, and it's because of what you're doing, and just we're strapping you huge, man, because we're putting like quadruple boosters on you. Is what we're doing.
I trust me. Like I said earlier, like being a wrestling fan, things like that, like that sort of stuff is not lost on me. Like I said, for my money, like AJ Styles, like I've wrestled him multiple times, and he's the best wrestler in the world, and he's one of my favorite guys to watch. But you two guys, like I'm not gonna make you old to wrap this up either. But growing up, you two were two of my all-time favorites, and two guys I always enjoyed watching and always enjoyed learning from. So to hear you guys say that, and it really does mean the world to me. Trust me. Like it's not lost on me at all. Like trust me. Thank you very much.
Well, I can't wait to see you and Ciampa go at it again. I can't wait to see one day you and Styles go at it again. You and Sammy. I mean, the matchups, you and Nakamura. I mean, you and Randy. You and Randy would click. There's so many things going forward for you. I'm going to be watching along with everybody else. I know Jay will too. And I can't wait to see it, man. I'm super excited for you. And after having talked like this, I can tell you're the type of guy who will appreciate it too, which is always great.
Yeah. Trust me. It's, like I said, it's not lost on me. I get to go out there and live my dream, and this is super cool. And it gets cooler every day, which is mind-blowing to me. Once I think like things aren't going to be able to top itself, it tops itself. So I guess that's a good thing. But yeah, it's
especially now that you've been officially strapped, it's going to be really.
Now I'm officially strapped. I mean, the possibilities are absolutely endless.
Oh, brother. All right, man. Well, I know you've come off like a hard weekend. You've been training. You've been at NXT already. enough yapping with us. We're going to have you on again because we're going to have a boatload more to talk about. So thanks for coming on the show. It was great having you. Yeah, keep knocking them dead, man.
Yeah, man, it's all about making moments. You made a huge one at NXT Takeover Philadelphia, and I'm sure you're going to make many, many more. So again, thanks and congrats on all your success so far.
No, my pleasure, guys. Hopefully we can do this again in the future. And then, I'm gonna live up to the strapping and hopefully have the NXT title next time we talk.
Okay, deal. All right, see you, buddy.
Thanks, guys.
So, Birdman, we just strapped Johnny Wrestling even higher than he's already gone.
Yeah, I think we're out of straps for this week.
Seriously though, I was really excited to have Johnny on because I really am. I'm a massive fan of what he's doing. He's just doing it all right. Like some people get that Midas touch and you can see it happening and it's so fun to watch because you know it when you see it. It was like when Kurt was really firing and everything. It's like, okay, man, this kid, he's figured out his deal and it's so fun to watch. And a nice guy too, who's just a fan like everyone in the audience. And that's so relatable.
Yeah, and we talked about it before too. Like every performer at different times has their light bulb moment, and once that goes off, it's you see things from a whole new light, and your performances. You just go out there with unbelievable confidence that every time you go out there, you can come through in the clutch no matter what.
Yeah, and he is with every opportunity he's getting. He is. Whether it's against someone like Velveteen Dream, like I mentioned, who's newer but just having a stellar match with him, and that guy, he's figuring it out too, and he's going to be something special. But against whether it's Cassius Ohno, whether it's against Authors of Pain and guys like that, against Revival, he's figured out a way to, it seems, not have a bad match, and that's what we've always talked about. The great ones pull other people up to their level, and instead of working down to theirs, and that's what he's doing, and that can be really, really rare. So, can't say enough about him. It's the Gargano meter, it's the Gargano measuring stick for a match from here on in the pod.
Yeah, you know, got the stamp of approval from Death Day, but also the long lost brother, Krusty Road Steady. Ooh, Gargano.
Krusty's involved too.
Yeah.
We got the hey, big week, Bird. We had a big show. We talked about NXT Takeover. We talked about the Rumbles. We talked about we talked about Johnny kick him into Ding Ding. We created some more T-shirts. I shamelessly plugged my wife throughout. She is
speaking of
giving me a hammerlock. That's why someone help
speaking
me.
of shameless plugs. I'm gonna do this right now for all my my peeps in France, in Paris, to be specific. I'm coming at you this Saturday and Sunday, brother. February 3rd and 4th, I'll be at the Paris Manga and Sci-Fi Show, and that will be at Porte de Versailles, Hall 7.2, brother. I'll be there both days signing autographs.
7.2?
Yeah, I guess that's the hall. I don't know what. I'm just reading what's on the sheet.
I didn't know this.
Yeah.
You're kind of close to me, not even going to stop by, huh?
Okay. Bro, you can come to France if you want. Yeah.
Well, I'll be in Liverpool at the Liverpool Comic-Con March 10th.
Oh, yeah?
So there.
Huh. Well, you're not telling me stuff here, huh?
Yeah.
Just doing stuff without telling me. Right.
So you're not telling me stuff, and it's this weekend. I told you this is March 10th. I'm going. I gave you a heads up.
Yeah.
Wait, I got to clear this with you?
Maybe.
No, I don't. I'm going to be in Liverpool. Maybe I do. Okay.
Yeah. All right, well, I'll see you this
big week. It was a good week. It was a fun week.
Yeah. I think I'm going to wear my beret.
See that you won't
I haven't worn my beret for a while.
Yeah, nothing like living up to stereotypes to offend me. You have a beret?
I do. It looks pretty badass.
Why do you have a beret? You have a landline and a beret.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Come on, man. And are you still listening to the Spin Doctors too?
What do you mean two?
Went to Princess Near before you. That's what I said now.
I think we've sang the song already on here before. Matt might have to cut this part out. Yeah, we have. All right.
I think my brain is on a complete loop with you. I don't think we should cut it. I think we should show that we're old, dumb bastards.
No, I'm not dumb. I knew.
All right, everybody.
Before, so.
That wasn't true. Good point. All right, take it away, Jay.
Well, we gotta go. See you. See you next week.
Or don't. It was a big one. You're dumbfounded. You're left speechless because we just had such a rocket strapping amazing show, and it was thanks to Johnny Gargano because again, he's kicking ass, man, and I'm happy to see it. Until next week.